Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about water purification techniques. Why do you need to purify water? You need to purify water to stay away from things like Cryptosporidium, Giardia, and a million other little bacteria things that live in the water. And, you know, after backpacking all these years, there's some risks that I've taken, and I've gotten some of the results of those bacteria, so it's very important for me to now filter my water. And we're going to go through a couple of different techniques and talk about the pros and cons of different ways of doing it, and I'll give you my opinion on what I think is the best for me and the type of activities I do outdoors. First is boiling water. You just dip it out of the stream, fill it with water, and you boil it, and as soon as it hits boiling temperature, supposedly that kills everything, and then it's good to drink. That's not the most efficient method because you spend a lot of time messing around with waiting on the water to boil and getting the water and waiting on it to cool down if you're just going to drink it and stuff like that. And so I never just boil water, and I actually use other methods instead. Like, let's see, the first method here is the water purification tablets, and these are iodine, and they have a flavored neutralizer that comes with them, and you put them in your water and you wait 20-30 minutes or something. You're supposed to shake it up, and I actually do use these quite frequently, and most of the time I use them when I'm by myself because people that I go with say that they taste funny, but I never notice really much of a big deal with it, so I use them quite a bit, especially when I'm going ultralight or something. And I've never gotten sick using iodine tablets. However, I have gotten water with leaves in it and drank it, because there's nothing really stopping you when you're dipping it in the river. And for best results, try to find faster areas of the river where water is flowing over moss or something like that, to dip your bottle behind that, so that because usually the leaves and stuff all kind of hang up in slower areas. And so that's iodine for you. It's decent, and it's always worked for me, but some people say there's a little aftertaste. It doesn't bother me. I don't really ever notice it, and it takes longer than boiling to get the water ready to drink. And one thing I have done with iodine, which I am not recommending to anyone, but I know it works, is I have taken the iodine tablets and then drank straight out of the river and kind of let it all happen in my stomach. And that was out of a pretty marginal source, and I didn't get sick, so I feel like pretty confident about that idea working. But don't try it if you have other ways of filtering water. And next is this is the conventional pump and filter, and this is a Katahdin Vario, and it's got two types of filters in it, and it comes with a ton of little hoses that you're supposed to keep them separated, but I never do. And you've got the pre-filter here. You stick it in the river, it usually clogs, and you don't want it to touch the bottom. And you have the filter. There's a carbon filter in here, and then there's also a second option where there's a ceramic filter. And when you use the ceramic filter, it filters super slow, and it most of the time it's unnecessary. However, I have used the ceramic filter. As you can see, it's brown, and the one thing about this type of filter system is that there's a lot of maintenance with it. I don't know if you can tell, but there's O-rings and stuff everywhere on it. There's like 12 O-rings, 15 O-rings in this thing that regularly need to be lubed, and it's got two pistons in the top that have seals that can leak, and the carbon filter needs to be replaced every 600 gallons or something. I usually do it every other year, and I should probably do it more frequently. And other than that, I mean, this has never failed me. It's the only thing I don't like about this is that it weighs, I think, 13 ounces with the hoses, and when packed up in its kit, it's not, as you can tell here, it's not the smallest item in my pack for sure. It's kind of a bulky bulky item to carry. This is mainly used, I mainly use this on streams and areas where I won't be able to, that are not deep, you know, or if I'm doing like a high altitude type hike where there's not going to be any like pools where I'm just filtering from springs and stuff. That's kind of my go-to method, because you can take this little hose right here and it only needs to be deeper than the edge. So, you know, if you can get a spring to make a puddle that's, you know, 10 inches in diameter, that's an inch deep, this is perfect. And I use it a lot on the Art Loeb Trail type water sources, because most of that stuff through there, especially going, you know, past Shining Rock and stuff, is all, you know, really small springs and you know, the kind of places where you wouldn't be able to you know, dip a camelback in without getting a camelback full of mud. And so, you know, these type of carbon / ceramic filters are great. They're pricey, kind of, and they last a long time if they're well maintained, and they've never let me down. However, the con to carrying this is the weight, the size, and the fact that you really have to be careful with it when in below freezing temperatures. So we'll move on to the next one here, which is my current setup is I'm using a Sawyer filter, Sawyer Mini right now, and I have prepared it to stay in line in my camelback with, you know, quick disconnects here and here, and you can still back flush it, no problem. And the one thing to make sure is that the flow is going in the right direction on your camelback. And so the new camelbacks have built-in quick disconnects, which I think is pretty cool. So you know, I can hook it up in line, you know, and as you can see, it's flowing the right way. And then I got my mouth, you know, my bite valve and stuff. And I mainly use this setup here on areas where I know that I will be able to get my camelback in some decent water, and you know, not really fill it up with leaves and stuff and sediment. Kind of on lower elevation when I'm on rivers and stuff, doing, you know, high mileage hikes. A lot of times I'll take this method here, and then I'll also take, you know, the big Katana Vario purifier, and maybe make someone else carry that when I go with a group or something. You know, but this method here, the main reason why I've got quick disconnects in it is, one, to back flush it easily, and another very important feature to remember on this is that it is also a carbon micron filter. And so what that means is that it cannot freeze. If it freezes, it loses all of its integrity, and it pretty much no longer works right. And I've had friends tell me that they've used them after they froze, and they felt the effects of Gerardia and Cryptosporidium. So don't do that. And one thing I like most about this is it weighs 3 ounces, and I have it set up to where if I'm in freezing temperatures, I can just put it in a Ziploc bag and throw it in the bottom of my sleeping bag, and I don't have to worry about it freezing. So all in all, this would be my favorite, and Iodine Tablets would be my second favorite, and my last favorite method is going to be the cartridge filter, mainly because of weight and ease of use. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. Thanks for watching my video, and enjoy.